Tyreek Hill has done it again. The man who's built a career on outrunning everyone,
Here goes Hill! Kiss him goodbye!
even logic, has just dropped another bombshell.
Hill, look at him! He's slippery! Rocketing it!
After burning defenses across the NFL and becoming a household name, Hill is now signaling that he might want out.
I don't know. I was thinking about something else. What was I thinking about? I was thinking about going for like one.
Yes, you heard that right. This is the second time in his career he's turned heads not just with his speed, but with his bold decision. But here's the real question. Why does one of the league's most explosive playmakers on a team that caters to his talents suddenly feel like he deserves better? Is it ego, ambition, or something deeper? To understand Tyreek Hill's mindset today, we need to rewind back to high school, where he first left defenders in the dust, to college, where controversy nearly derailed everything, and to his rise in the NFL, where he became one of the league's most explosive players. Buckle up, because this isn't just a story about football. It's a deep dive into the mind of Tyreek Hill, the decisions that shaped his career, and the question everyone's asking: has Tyreek Hill officially lost his mind? Tyreek Hill wasn't just born fast. He was born to leave everyone else in the dust. Growing up in the tiny town of Pearson, Georgia, Tyreek possessed a gift that immediately set him apart. A pair of legs that could outrun almost anything. But here's the thing. Football wasn't even his first love. No, Tyreek's first taste of greatness came on the track, where he quickly made a name for himself as a generational talent. By high school, he wasn't just winning races, he was shattering records. At the 2012 World Junior Championships, Hill clocked an insane 20.14 seconds in the 200 meters. For perspective, that's faster than most people hit in a school zone, and he wasn't even at full throttle yet. But the track was just a warm-up. When Hill hit the football field, it was like someone pressed the turbo button. Defenders looked like they were chasing ghosts, while Hill turned routine plays into jaw-dropping highlights. By his senior year at Coffee High School, Hill was a 5-star recruit, with the world seemingly at his feet. Yet beneath the surface, cracks were beginning to show. Whispers of temper issues and questionable decision-making started to follow him. Minor concerns at the time, but little did anyone know, they were just the beginning of a series of hurdles Tyreek would face as he moved into the next chapter of his career. So how did this record-breaking speedster handle the leap to college football? Let's just say the road ahead wasn't exactly smooth. After high school, Tyreek Hill took a detour. Not the glamorous Division I route, but the gritty junior college path at Garden City Community College in Kansas. For 2 years, he was a human highlight reel, torching defenses and racking up over 1,800 all-purpose yards in a single season. His speed was undeniable, his talent impossible to ignore. Big-time programs started circling, and eventually, Hill earned his shot at Oklahoma State University in 2014. At Oklahoma State, Tyreek was electric. Every time he touched the ball, it felt like something magical, or disastrous for the opposing team, was about to happen. And then there was that moment. The 92-yard punt return against Oklahoma, a play so outrageous it single-handedly turned an embarrassing loss into a miraculous win. Fans couldn't get enough. They were already calling him the next superstar. But just as quickly as his star was rising, it all came crashing down. In December 2014, Tyreek was arrested on charges of domestic violence. The details weren't just ugly, they were career-threatening. Oklahoma State acted swiftly, cutting ties with him and effectively ending his run in Division I football. It was a catastrophic fall from grace, one that could have easily been the final chapter of his story. But Tyreek wasn't ready to fade away. He transferred to West Alabama, a small Division II school where he worked to rebuild his life and career. On the field, he was unstoppable. Off the field, NFL teams weren't convinced. To them, he was a gamble, a ticking time bomb with potential that came with a dangerous price tag. Before we get into how Tyreek Hill went from being a Division II long shot to one of the NFL's most electrifying players, let me ask you this. How many of you have faced a major setback and wondered if you could bounce back? Tyreek's journey is the ultimate story of overcoming the odds, and I'm sure it'll resonate with a lot of you. If you're feeling inspired, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a story of triumph and grit like this one. Now, let's dive into Tyreek's incredible comeback. When the Kansas City Chiefs took a chance on Tyreek Hill in the 5th round of the 2016 NFL Draft, the response wasn't just skepticism. It was outrage. Here was a player with undeniable speed and talent, but a personal history that made teams hesitant to even look his way. Critics slammed the Chiefs' decision, calling it a PR disaster waiting to happen. To many, Tyreek was a ticking time bomb, but the Chiefs didn't flinch. They didn't see the baggage. They saw brilliance. They saw a game changer. And as it turns out, they were right. From the moment he stepped on the field, Tyreek wasn't just fast, he was unstoppable. As a rookie, he turned the NFL into his personal playground. Whether it was electrifying punt returns, kick returns that made defenders look like they were running in quicksand, or deep bombs that showcased his jaw-dropping speed, Hill made it clear he wasn't here to blend in. He was here to take over. By the end of his first season, he had 12 touchdowns, a Pro Bowl selection, and a growing reputation as one of the league's most exciting players. A fifth-round pick doing this? It was unheard of. Then came Patrick Mahomes. If Tyreek Hill was a Ferrari, Mahomes was the driver who knew exactly how to push it to full throttle. The Mahomes-Hill connection wasn't just good, it was legendary. With Mahomes' cannon of an arm and Tyreek's ability to outrun literally anyone, they made defenses look silly week after week. Together, they didn't just win games, they dominated. And the pinnacle of their partnership came in 2019 when they brought Kansas City its first Super Bowl in 50 years. By this point, Tyreek wasn't just a speedster, he was one of the most feared wide receivers in the game. But in 2022, just as it seemed Tyreek was cemented as a cornerstone of the Chiefs dynasty, he shocked the football world. Out of nowhere, he requested a trade. The Chiefs weren't exactly stingy. They offered him a lucrative contract that most players would have jumped at without hesitation. But for Tyreek, it wasn't enough. He wanted more. More money? Sure, but it wasn't just about that. Tyreek wanted to be the guy. He didn't want to play second fiddle to Mahomes or share the spotlight with Travis Kelce. He wanted to prove that he could thrive on his own terms as the centerpiece of an offense. Enter the Miami Dolphins, a team that didn't just meet his demands, they exceeded them. They made him the highest paid wide receiver in NFL history, a move that screamed, "You're our star." For Tyreek, it was validation. For the rest of the NFL, it was a head-scratcher. Why walk away from the Chiefs, a team poised for more Super Bowl runs, to take a gamble on a franchise that hadn't been a contender in decades? In Miami, Tyreek Hill didn't just maintain his dominance, he elevated it. The Cheetah hit the ground running, quite literally in his first season with the Dolphins. With 1,710 receiving yards, he not only broke franchise records, but also silenced doubters who questioned whether Tua Tagovailoa could deliver the deep ball. Hill turned Tua into a statistical marvel, making highlight plays look routine. Week after week, Miami's offense revolved around him, and the fans ate it up. The buzz was electric. Finally, the Dolphins had their superstar. But now, just a year later, Tyreek seems to be restless again. In recent interviews, he's dropped cryptic hints, suggesting he deserves better. Better than what, though? A team that's bent over backwards to build its offense around him? A quarterback who targets him more than a heat-seeking missile? Or maybe it's about Miami itself, a city with beautiful beaches, perfect weather, and no state income tax. It's hard to pin down exactly what Tyreek feels is missing. And here's the thing, this isn't uncharted territory for him. Back in Kansas City, Tyreek claimed his departure wasn't about the money, yet he walked away from a dynasty in the making to sign the richest wide receiver deal in NFL history. Now, in Miami, the same narrative seems to be playing out. The question looms, what's driving Tyreek Hill? Is it an insatiable hunger for greatness, an unquenchable desire to be the main character, or something else entirely? Whatever it is, Tyreek's career has always been more than just touchdowns and stats. It's a story of ambition, controversy, and the relentless pursuit of something just out of reach. To understand where he's headed, we have to ask, what does Tyreek really want? And will he ever find it? Looking back at Tyreek Hill's journey, one thing stands out. This is a man who thrives on defying expectation. Whether it was bouncing back from his college controversy, silencing the critics who called him a PR disaster in Kansas City, or rewriting the record books in Miami, Tyreek has built a career on proving people wrong. His speed is unmatched, but it's his resilience and audacity that truly set him apart. However, that same defiance, the thing that's fueled his rise, might also be his Achilles heel. Tyreek's career has been a masterclass in bold decision-making. When he walked away from Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs Super Bowl machine, people called it career suicide. But Tyreek made Miami his stage and thrived. It was a risk, sure, but a calculated one. Now, if the whispers about his restlessness are true, Tyreek might be considering rolling the dice again. But this time, the stakes feel higher. Leaving Miami, a team that's given him everything, would be a gamble of a different kind. how many bridges can you burn before you run out of places to cross? At some point, even the fastest player in the NFL can run out of open fields. Tyreek Hill has spent his entire career outrunning everyone else, defenders, critics, even his own past. But as he stands at yet another crossroads, the real question is this: can Tyreek Hill outrun himself?